Well, hello and welcome everybody, especially the sensors. I want to share with you at the New Health Conversations. We always tell you we stay within the community guidelines because the only thing we ever share with the audiences is real medical proof that's in the public domain that everybody can go and look at the information. There's no claims made. We only state medical proof. We've written 4 best-selling books with some of the top medical doctors in the world. We've done our own research. Everything we bring to people is backed on peer-reviewed human trial studies, just to let you know. So hello, everybody coming on board now. User 625, Joan, etc. Stop scrolling. Cynde lost 57 pounds and 57 years old. Sorry, she lost 50 pounds in 3 months. Linda lost 80. Now right here, they're on the cover of this magazine. That's what we're talking about. These 2 women right here. I coached both of them. The daughter, she's 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months. And her mom, who's 80 years old, she's 80, she dropped 80 pounds in 9 months, and they've never gained it back. And this is the cover, June 9th, of Women's World magazine. Now, are you curious about how they did it and how they kept it off? At their, the daughter's 57, but the mom at 80 years old, that's pretty amazing, right? Now, you'll also notice right above there in blue, it says the New Health Conversation. That is a free medical website where you can go and you can see the medical proof behind what they did. Because this is backed, what they did is backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. There's nothing higher in medical research than that. There's no other diet in the world. There's no other diet, nutrition, exercise program in the world that have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. This took 40 years of research, 100 studies, thousands of people to create this. But again, you all can still, maybe on the newsstand, you can still buy it. This is the cover story. This is a huge deal. Now, why is it such a big deal? Because it's a news story. They wrote a big article about this inside. It's right here. Look at the article they wrote. New protein miracle diet. That's what they're calling it, a miracle. And it's backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. So let's get into some of the other things that are part of this. All right, look, this is more typical. How about all of you thinking, how excited would you be if you could lose 5 pounds a week? Because this is pretty much the average. So what she did here is nothing out of the ordinary with this particular protocol. So she lost 21 pounds, 38.75 inches in just 30 days. By the way, no one was allowed to exercise. And this picture is about 8 or 9 years old. So I'm going to explain to you, in just a moment, how in the world did they do it? It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. As a matter of fact, you all can help me out. Number one, tap on your screen if you like this content, because it's all backed by medical research. Nothing is my opinion. I'm the researcher of the researchers. It's not my research. It's their research. But we're bringing it to the world so that you all can experience it. So a couple of quick questions. One, if you were going to lose 20 pounds, if you just be honest with yourself, how long would you actually give yourself to lose 20 pounds? Number two, does anybody know the technical definition of a calorie? The reason that's so important is because this is going to be the anti-calorie protocol that we're going to share with you. I want you to understand that the majority of people, the vast majority of people have no idea what a calorie is, and yet they're counting it. We've had 5 people get the answer right in a year of doing 3 or 4 of these podcasts a day. You can imagine how many people that encompassed, and 5 people got it actually right, the medical definition of calories, which you're counting. So this is the first picture. Again, 21 pounds, 38.75 inches in a month. Look at her stomach on day 1, everybody, and then look at day 30. That's without any exercise, sit-ups, crunches, etc. Okay, now let's take a look at Julie here, everybody. Look at this. She lost 35 pounds in 37 days. And look at the change in her body. A lot of people think it's a different woman. No, it's the same woman. Nothing has been changed. And then the last picture I want to show you, second to last picture, sorry, is actually of my friend's daughter. This is not Photoshop. Look at this, everybody. 60 pounds in 3 months. 60 pounds. So that's 5 pounds a week, but over 3 months. Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her body. Look at how much she shrank. That's not... now, this one definitely, people say, oh, that's not the same woman. You faked it. We didn't fake a darn thing. This is absolutely what's going on. So how many of you would like to make a Quiet Times and Gen X and Adri and Linda and Joyce and Lotus, lots of people joining us. We've got 2 likes so far. Can we get some more taps on your cell phone? You just tap on the screen of your smartphone and it'll register that you like the content. Assuming you do. If you don't like it, don't tap. It's really that simple. And the last picture I want to show you is not just about this unbelievable weight loss. This is an older gentleman. What do you see his blood work? What happened in just 30 days? Curtis, 40.8 pounds, 52.5 inches in just 30 days. But look at his blood work. Well, I shouldn't say just. He lost 10 pounds a week, actually 10.2 pounds a week, and 52 inches in 30 days with no exercise. Look at his lab work. A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides from 242 to 124 in 30 days with no exercise. Has anyone ever seen anything like this before? I'd love to any comment, share, like this. Come on, let's get some more taps now. We got 36 likes. We can get to 100 here pretty quickly and into the hundreds. Come on, everybody, let's tap. This is life-changing information, and none of it is my opinion. And again, let me go back to the very beginning. Oh, sorry. You can see right above my name there in blue, it says, stop scrolling, read down, and it says, the new health conversation. It's a free medical website where you can learn how did this mom and daughter who I coached, the daughter loses 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, actually it's a misprint. She actually lost 90 pounds in 9 months, but we'll take 80. That's okay also. And they've kept it off now for 2.5 years with no exercise at all. Look at that. 57 years old, a nurse, 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom lost basically 90 pounds in 9 months. That's 10 pounds a month. But she's, 80 years old. That's pretty darn good, I think, right? So you all can go to that website. It's in blue, the New Health Conversation, and notice it says free coaching. It is free coaching. There's no charge for the coaching. You don't buy anything from us. There's no products. This is not products. This is going to be food. You're going to find out now. I'm going to explain to you exactly what they did. So let's go back and take a look at Kristen, and now I'm going to explain to you how did they do this. It was developed by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. It wasn't invented by me. So the first thing they did was, after they'd done 100 studies over 40 years, thousands of people, every diet out there, and what they proved, that every diet people lost weight initially, but 2/3 of the people in all the diets gained back more weight than they lost. So they said, we're doing something wrong. And what they were doing wrong is they were putting people on calories in, calories out, because they didn't invent the diets. They were just analyzing them. So whether it was paleo or keto or Mediterranean or South Beach or Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers News, they were just following what those people did. They had no input other than to follow. But every one of those diets was some form of counting or limiting calories, okay? So they said, we're doing something totally different. We know, here's a lesson for all of you. Why don't diets work? Because your body doesn't run on calories. It doesn't know what a calorie is. I'm still waiting for someone to give me the definition of a calorie. We'll keep going. What happens on diets, or let me back up. The most important thing to your body is one thing, and it's not calories. It's nutrition. We all have a minimum amount of nutrition that we need in order to run all of our organs, our brain, our heart, our kidney, our lungs, etc. They all run on nutrition. They don't run on calories. So why are you counting calories when your body doesn't even know what a calorie is? So the researchers figured out, okay, we want to come up with a new protocol where we're going to pick the foods. And we're going to pick foods that have high levels of nutrition and smaller quantities. So they made her a grocery list, but only 30% of what she bought last month at her grocery store, this month she'll buy at her grocery store organic. But she's going to have proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. Instead of giving her calorie amounts, they gave her serving sizes. Does this make sense to everybody, all right? So she's got 30% of her food from the grocery store. The other 70% didn't come from the researchers, didn't come from us. It came from other researchers who spent 20 years of their lives going around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with large amounts of nutrition, but small amounts from a quantity standpoint of view about the amount of food that they consumed. So now they had the ingredients, right? 30% from the grocery store. You get a list. You actually take it to the grocery store. And the other 70%, the coaches, that's part of free coaching, they'll show you how to buy directly from the suppliers, not from the coaches. So then what the researchers did, they created 2 completely new ways of eating based on these new food combinations, which weren't based on calories. They were based on nutrition. So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. Listen to this. She started the day with these exotic foods from around the world. That was breakfast. Lunch from the grocery store. Third meal, dinner with her family from the grocery store list, but a fourth meal after dinner of these exotic foods. So she started the day with the exotic foods, had a lunch and a dinner from the grocery store, and a fourth meal after dinner. That's called protein pacing. It's actually patented, U.S. Patent Office. That's how much they thought of it. Now, 2 days a week, they had her do out of 7. They had her do something that you'll think is all strange. It'll set you off, I know. Intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. In those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world. But this time they let her have no food from the grocery store, only these foods, but she ate 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half. And that's where the pacing came in, because the researchers proved it wasn't just about giving you all the nutrition like in 1 or 2 meals. It was how you spaced it out to get the maximum out of the body so that you never were in a position where there wasn't enough fuel to run all the organs. Because that's what happens on diets. When you lower the amount of food you're consuming, you lower the amount of nutrition, the brain freaks out, goes in starvation mode, prevents you from burning the energy stored in your fat cell, and turns to your muscles for fuel. That's why you all gain all this weight, plateau at a minimum. You gain the weight back or more, all of you on all these diets. There's not one diet. I'm going to show you the medical evidence here. There's never been a study on calorie reduction that's ever kept weight off people long term. I have the study right here. I'll read it to you in a moment. But one of the other keys to this, it's all about maintenance. She lost that weight about 8 or 9 years ago. She's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks. 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That's why the protocol is called R2M. You know what it stands for? Race to maintenance. But there's another, the biggest reason to do this, and this will blow your mind. This is a new medical syndrome that we all have, including me. It's called TDOS. The T is for toxins or toxicity. The D is for nutritional deficiency in our food, causing us to be overweight and stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. I did discover it. Oh, this is my name, Peter Greenlaw. I guess I did discover it. What it means is we're breathing, drinking, eating chemicals, we're storing them inside our body. The body's taking the chemical once the liver can't handle it anymore, which it can't, and then the body's last line of defense is to take that chemical and stuff it inside your fat cells. That's why day one, look at the bloat around your stomach and look at 30 days later. So the researchers did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving this was assisting the body in removing chemicals from the body, and the fat cells shrank. See, don't let anybody tell you burn fat. That's a complete and utter lie. There's no diet that burns fat. There's no exercise burns fat. You're born with the same number of fat cells you die with. The only way you lower fat is either through liposuction or through surgery, but not through diet or exercise. That's just false. It's false. So your fat cells, they can either expand or they can contract. And unfortunately, most people complain to us, your fat cells are expanding. It's not just how much weight you have, but how much fat you have on your body. Does this make sense to everybody? So what should we do instead? Well, you weren't on Beach, you didn't get a chance to hear me explain exactly what she did. I'm going to tell you right now. So let's review. Let's go backwards. The researchers' Beach Mom Shop. The researchers that created this are the top weight loss nutritional researchers in the world for 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people. They proved that diets don't work for one main reason, and that is your body has no idea what a calorie is. Why you're counting calories is a complete mystery to all the scientists. The only thing that matters to your body is the minimum amount of nutrition that we need in order to run all the organs, heart, kidney, liver, brain, etc. When you go on a diet, what you're doing, whether you knew it or not, you're reducing the amount of food you're consuming, you're reducing the amount of nutrition, the body freaks out, goes in starvation mode, and forces your body to abandon the energy in a fat cell and turns to your muscles. And as your body begins to use your muscles for fuel, it slows down your metabolism. That's why you plateau on diets. But worse than that, it also, by losing lean muscle on all these diets, which you do, you also slow down your own immune system. It's not up for debate. 25 to 40% of what anybody loses on any diet is lean muscle mass, period. Now, what the researchers did, here's what they did that was different. They said, we're going to go find foods that have higher levels of nutrition and still lower quantities. So the goal was, could we give her less food, but more nutrition? So they put together a food list. Only 30% of the food she bought last month, she would spend that same amount of money this month, but very specific foods with serving sizes, not calories. And those included proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But that's only 30% of what she consumed. Here's what makes it so different. The other 70% came from other researchers, not the ones who invented this, because they don't have any products, and we don't sell any products to you. You're buying food. But the other 70% you buy from these researchers who had gone around the world for over 20 years to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find huge amounts of nutrition in very small quantities of food. So now they had the ingredients. But what do you lack? What do you need when you're going to cook something or make something? You need a recipe. So I'm going to use recipe just because it's cool. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. You heard me. She started with these exotic foods for breakfast, no food from the grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods around the world. So 5 days a week, she was eating 4 times a day. That's called protein pacing. I'll come back to that in a moment. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world, but this time she ate 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half. Look at the results. 5 pounds a week, 21 pounds, 38 inches in just 30 days. But look at the change in her body. And then look at, these are all people that did this. Julie, 37 days, 35 pounds. Look at that. Look at that, everybody. What do you think? Comments, please. Carol, La Lamina, Dizzy, Jen, any of you, Vanilla, Des Calibri, Kilbride. What do you think? Is that the same woman? Did we Photoshop it? No, we didn't. Now, this one is even more dramatic. This is the daughter of a good friend of mine. She lost 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her body. This is not Photoshopped. And then this gentleman, an older gentleman, 40 pounds in a month and 52 inches. Least important part of his story. Look at his lab work, everybody. His A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides, 242 dropped to 124 just in 30 days with no exercise. Now, if you like what you're hearing and you want to even see more, we have a free website. It's free to go there and we won't even contact you. See it above my head there in blue, the new health conversation. Now, keep in mind, this whole thing is featured in a huge new article in Women's World, the #1 women's magazine in the world. The daughter who I coached lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom lost actually 90 pounds in 8 and 9 months, and they've kept it off for 2.5 years. Well, you can go see all the medical proof right there at the New Health Conversation. What's there? Only the medical proof. We will not contact you, but notice right above it says free coaching. It's not a joke. We coach you for free because we got kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91. We have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with a kidney transplant. We have people with no gallbladders. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, and preventing any medical disease. So don't hear me say that. That's not true. We're not making those claims. All we're doing is sharing with you what's in the peer-reviewed human trial studies for you to read and see the proof. And if you do go there and you like what you see, scroll down. You get a free coach, for crying out loud, the whole time. And the coaches are not there to sell you or convince you. They don't do that. They got coached. We all got coached. There's medical doctors, there's physician's assistants, there's RNs, there's dietitians, nutritionists, fitness people, because everybody now wants to be part of this movement called the New Health Conversation. We're helping each other. I don't understand why more people don't go and take advantage of going to the website and seeing the free medical proof. Now, let me show you, for some of you that are just coming on, did everyone, is it Marley, Michael, Opteam, Opal, I think it's Opal Wellness. I think that's what it says, but I'm not sure. Did you all get to hear how in the world did she lose 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month with no exercise allowed, not counting calories, not a diet, totally new protocol? Please put someone in the chat if you'd like me to explain it again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the medical proof why any diet you're on now is doomed to failure. None of it's my opinion. We're going to talk about Harvard Medical School. We're going to talk about the New England Journal of Medicine. We're going to talk about Medicare, all saying calorie counting is dead, finished, over. It doesn't work. It's never been proven long-term to keep weight off. Never been proven. And you're all still counting calories or some form of it. Why? Because that's the only thing we were told. What else are you being told? Yeah, they changed the names of the diets, but at the end of the day, they're all basically the same. They're telling you to calories in, calories out, reduce your calories. That's how you're going to lose weight. Total rubbish. And I'll prove it to you in just a few minutes. But anyway, Ron Jacks, did any of you hear how in the world did she do that? So would anybody like me to tell them? Somebody put a yes down there. Hi, Hot Rod, aka 246. Great. Did everybody get to hear me explain exactly how in the world is she losing 5 pounds a week? And some of them are losing a lot more than that. I mean, like Curtis, he's an older gentleman. How about 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days? That's more than 10 pounds a week. and the least important part of his story. Look at his lab work. A1C from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides 242 to 124. So, hi Gloria. Hello Mighty One. Hello. Who else? We got BS joined. We got Dion Wallace joined. We got G Bailey joined. We got Eamon. Can we get some more taps on that screen? We're only at 293. I've been going 20 minutes. I mean, come on. Do you not like the content? If you don't like the content, then don't tap on the screen. It's cool. But are you trying to tell me any of you have ever seen a diet like this? Because this isn't even a diet. But look at him. Look at his stomach. That's 30 days, not 30 weeks with no exercise. I'd love for anybody to comment. Make a comment. Like the site. We're trying to help as many people as we can as fast as we can. I mean, I'll tell you how bad it is. Johns Hopkins Medical School. Study, I'm going to read it to you. Study predicts obesity apocalypse. By 2030, they estimate 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese. Well, that's going to be 86% of you. What are you doing, everybody? Why are you believing these diets you've seen over and over again? Your friends, they lose weight and gain it all back, the yo-yo effect. There's a reason for that. Those diets based on calories are done. They're finished. They're over. So what is the people that just joined? What is this for the people? What I meant is, Allie, the people that just joined, I wanted to explain to them how in the world this is more like 5 pounds a week, 38 inches, not a diet, not counting calories. What is it? It's no products. It's food, but invented, Allie, by the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. They'd done 100 studies, Allie, over 40 years, thousands of people, and you know what they proved? Diets don't work. 2/3 of everybody they had do every diet there was, they all gained more weight than they had lost originally. So they came up with a new protocol based not on counting calories, nothing to do with that. Our bodies, Allie, run on a minimum, not of calories, but on nutrition. When you go on a diet, when you lower the amount of food, they don't tell you this, but you're lowering nutrition. Well, that triggers in the brain starvation mode. And what does it do? It immediately stops accessing the fuel in your fat cells and turns to muscles for fuel. And as you begin to lose muscle, the brain has no choice. It slows down your metabolism. That's why you lose weight like gangbusters, maybe initially, and then it goes to a trickle. Then you plateau, and no matter what you do, you can't lose any weight. So you quit the diet, you gain everything back, and then you look for a new diet. The research has said that's no more. We're gonna pick the foods for people, but we're gonna base them not on calorie count, on the amount of nutrition in small amounts of food. So their goal was, could we give you less food, but give you more nutrition? Because you're not hungry for calories anyway. You're hungry for nutrition. So if they can satisfy you or give you more nutrition than you need, it's probably going to work, right? That's exactly what they did. So they put a grocery list together for her, for everybody. Proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving her calorie counts, they gave her serving sizes. That's why only 30% of the food she bought on this protocol to do it was 30% of what she spent on food the month before. But the other 70% that you would purchase, not from us, but from the researchers, are these other researchers who for 20 years had gone around the world to find foods in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand that represented huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. So now they had the ingredients that they were going to give to her. And then they created a new way of eating. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. Yep. She started with these exotic foods around the world. Lunch from the grocery store list. Dinner with her family, meal number 3 from the grocery list, and meal number 4 after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. So she started with the exotic foods. She had lunch from the grocery, dinner from the grocery, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods. Then 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store at all, 0. Only these exotic foods around the world. But this time they let her eat 8 times a day. She was eating every hour. She was hungry. We had people with 500 pounds. They weren't hungry. Because again, everybody's used to calories. No, your body is only thing your body can calculate is nutrition. That's why it worked. And look at the results. By the way, that picture's 8 or 9 years old. She's kept it off for 8 or 9 years, like me. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks. 23 years ago, I've kept it off for 23 years. There's nothing like this on planet Earth. Nothing. And it's backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies, and I coached these 2 women on the cover of Women's World. It came out June 9th. The daughter's a nurse. She's 57 years old, lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom who's 80 actually lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both kept it off for 2.5 years. Aren't you curious? Because you got to understand, when you get on the cover of Women's World, it's the #1 women's magazine in the world. What, you think they're going to put something on the cover that's not real, that's not backed up? And they wrote a huge article about it in the magazine, just describing it. Listen to what they call it: New Protein Miracle Diet. It's not really protein, and it's not really a diet, so that's a little bit misleading. But again, look, I'd love for anybody of you to tell me, if you wanted to lose 20 pounds, just be honest. How long would you give yourself on any diet, any celebrity trainer, anybody you want to follow? How long would you take to lose 20 pounds? How did she do it? Okay, Chloe, so you didn't hear the explanation, Chloe? Just give me a yes, no, you didn't hear it. Because I'll repeat it again in 1 second, I promise, no problem. I just don't want to repeat if you already heard it, because we do have new people coming on all the time, and it limits the amount of time I have to then repeat it again and again. So Chloe, did you not? No, sorry, I just turned. No. Let me explain it to you, okay? So Chloe, first of all, it was invented, I'd say, by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, who'd done 100 studies over 40 years, thousands of people, and determined that all diets do not work long term. And the reason for that was that all diets are based on some form of calories in, calories out, reducing calories. Well, the problem is your body has no idea what a calorie is. The only thing your body cares about is a minimum amount, not of calories, but of nutrition. So Chloe, all of the diets, really what you're doing is you're reducing the amount of food you're consuming, and you're reducing the nutrition at the same time. The researchers knew this. So basically what they wanted to do was, could they find foods? They would pick them with higher levels of nutrition and still smaller quantities of food by volume, okay? So they picked, and 30% of the food she consumed came from the grocery store. You actually would get a grocery list, you'd take it to the store, proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits, but only 30% of what you would buy in a month comes from your grocery store. The other 70% you'd buy comes from these researchers who had gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, and found foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but smaller quantities of food. So now they had the ingredients. Now, what did she actually physically do on a daily basis? 5 days a week. By the way, no exercise allowed, just so you understand. Not that the researchers were against exercise, but they didn't want exercise to be an outlier. Otherwise, you say, oh, she lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. They actually had to wear Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods. That was breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. That's called protein pacing. I'll explain to you why the pacing is so important. Then 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these incredible exotic foods, but this time they let her eat 8 times a day. Yes, she was eating every hour and a half. Nobody was hungry. In a month's time, they proved people's hunger went down 41%, despite, like in her case, losing 21 pounds in a month. She wasn't hungry because she was never hungry for calories. She was hungry for nutrition. And by the way, she's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. The protocol itself is called R2M, Race to Maintenance. Now, for all of you, if you want to know more and you want to see it, you can go. This is the website that's free to go to, right above my name in blue, The New Health Conversation. Guess what's there? Nothing to buy, because there aren't any products. But if you want to know more, you get a free coach the whole time. It's totally free, and the coaches are not there to convince you. The coaches are there if you want to do it. They'll get you the grocery list that you take to your grocery store, and they'll show you how to buy directly from these suppliers, and then they'll coach you the whole time. We got coached. You've never done anything like this. That's why I said stop scrolling. I mean, does that make sense to all of you? Can anybody comment? Janelle and Heather, and user 477, and D. Gillis, and Bowie, and we're only at 380 likes, everybody. Please tap on this. If you like the content, tap on the screen. But let's look, for example, look at this, everyone. Curtis, 40, that's more than 10 pounds a week, 52.5 inches in 30 days with no exercise. He's an older guy. Least important part of his story in my world, look at his lab work. Look at his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4 in 30 days. Ask a diabetic about how dramatic that is. And then look at his triglycerides. From 242 to 124 in 30 days. This is not a diet. It has nothing to do with dieting. You're maximizing your quality of life, health. That's what you're doing. But you know what? The biggest part of this, thank you. I never knew the body didn't know. Yeah, Chloe, the body has no idea what a calorie is. Do you know, Chloe, do you know the definition of a calorie? Because I've been doing this now for a year. I've done, I don't know, a few hundred podcasts. I've had 5 people ever tell me the medical definition of a calorie. But you understand, you're counting calories and your body's not. How is that going to work out? It's not going to work out because now we're looking at within 4.5 years, 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. These diets are finished. They're over. They're done. They're finished. And yet you all can go and reset your lives if you want, right? See it in blue, the new health conversation. Free medical website. Go there. We won't contact you. Why would we need to contact you if here are the medical studies here, and they're also on the website that you all can see. And if you like what you see it right above the new health conversation, it says free coaching. That means free coaching the whole time, not just initially. Now, why do we do coaching? Because we don't know anything about you. You've never done anything like this before. Heck, we got kids 2 years old doing this. We got a lady 91. We have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with kidney transplants. We have people with no gallbladders. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any diseases. But what we are sharing is what's in the peer-reviewed medical studies, like blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, all came down dramatically just in 30 days. And for the first time ever measured, inflammation, which is the underlying cause of every disease out there according to the medical world, it came down 25% in a month. No one's ever seen it. No paleo, keto, Mediterranean has ever produced anything like this. This is not a diet. Yes, I get very animated, get really excited. For all of you, I'm advocating for you. How come no one else you're following on social media, no one that I can see, has one shred of medical evidence, and yet you're following them? They're nice people. There's medical doctors and chiropractors and dietitians, nutritionists, and workout people. But do they have one shred of medical evidence? You're entrusting your health and your future to someone giving you an opinion. Do it if you want. It's not our job to talk you out of it. But my gosh, why wouldn't you go look at the medical proof? And if you like what you see, talk to a coach for free. There's no gimmicks. The coach is not going to charge you. We got coached. I mean, the studies are overwhelming. Just overwhelming. The diets. Listen to this, everybody. Will this work? Is there something else I should do? Will this work? But I would like to lose some weight too. So again, somebody's making comments and I can't quite see it. Hold on. I apologize. Let me go back. I'm not obese, but I'd like to lose some weight, so I've tried to move and eat less. That doesn't work, okay? It does not work, Chloe. The people, look at these people. Chloe, that they were not allowed to exercise. She lost 21 pounds in 30 days and 38 inches. Go to the website, Chloe, look at the medical proof, and then get a coach. They'll talk to you for free, answer any of your questions, free. Chloe, free. They're not going to try and sell you. They don't do that. They're going to explain, but the website, all of you, here's the website. You all can see it above my head in blue, the New Health Conversation. If you go there, we won't contact you. Why would we need to contact you if we have the medical proof we're claiming, not claiming, we have it. As a matter of fact, let me show all of you the website so you know. There's the website. There's no books. There's not, all that is on there is the medical proof. Number one, you saw there's a podcast with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the entire world. But there's another huge reason to do this that has nothing to do with weight loss. It's because every one of us, including me, have this new medical syndrome. It's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. What is this? TDOS, what is that? T stands for toxins, D for nutritional deficiency, O for being overweight, and S is for stress. Oh, Peter Greenlaw. Oh, that is me. I did discover it. But it's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. That's huge. They're recognized as a medical syndrome that everybody has. You didn't even know you had it probably before today. What it means is you're storing chemicals in your fat cells. It's not up for debate. That's why when you look at her stomach on day 1, everybody, look at that day 1 and then look at day 30. That's with no exercise allowed. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. How crazy is that, everybody? Okay, Chloe, right here. Chloe. Acknowledge, above my head in blue. Do you see that, Chloe? Give me a yes. The New Health Conversation. That's exactly where you go, see the medical proof, and you get a coach for free. So, Chloe, give me a yes, or any of you that you see that. Okay. So, Chloe, write that website down, no spaces, The New Health Conversation. Go there, look at all of you, for all of you. We won't contact you if you go to The New Health Conversation. We don't have time to do it. Only once you decide that this is what you want to find out more about, then you can talk to a coach. But the coach is going to coach you the whole time for free, everybody. Free, 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 free. Why wouldn't you want to do a consultation for free with someone who's already done it? They've been trained, they can answer your questions, and they're going to be there the whole time with you to get you to your goal and then to your goal and then show you how to maintain it for the rest of your life. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. But look at these results, everybody. Look at Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days with no exercise. A lot of people think it's a different woman. No, it's the same woman. You can see that. Let me get out of the way. So it was October 3rd to November 9th. And I think they calculated it right. It was 37 days. 35 pounds in 37 days. We had someone on yesterday. She was 23 days in. She's down 22 pounds in 23 days. Another lady was on the 5th morning. 4 days. 12 pounds in 4 days. So even when I'm showing you, it's almost at the low end of what's possible. And then look at my friend's daughter. 60 pounds in 3 months, everybody. 60. But look at the change in her body, her face. We substituted a different woman. The hell we did. That's the same woman. We have something, we have what you're looking for. You just didn't know where to find it until today. That's not bragging because we don't sell anything. We're going to coach you for free. We're researchers. It's not our research. We didn't invent it, but we're teaching you how to do it. Why wouldn't you go, all of you, why wouldn't you go to that free website, the New Health Conversation? Why wouldn't you go there? My gosh, it was featured on the cover of Women's World magazine June 9th, the #1 women's magazine in the world. You can see what they said, over 50 protein miracle. Miracle. Or count calories and do these crazy diets that don't work long term. Look at this, I'm 2 weeks in, down 6 pounds. Faye's saying, what is it, Soaring Eagle? That's me on the cover. Wow, Cynde's on here. Oh my gosh, everybody. This nurse, whoops, where is she? Over there, she's right there. Cynde, is there any chance at all? Listen, everybody. Oh my gosh, let's see if she'll come on. Cynde, I'll let you in if you can click and see if we can let you on live, everybody. She's actually she's on the TikTok today. I didn't know she was going to be there. Mira, we'll go over that in just a minute. Soaring Eagle, what is it? Okay, Faye 80's already down 6 pounds in 2 weeks. Okay, let's see if I can make this work now. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I think so. Hold on. Let me blow her picture up for everybody. Hello, Cynde, can you hear me? Yeah, we can hear you for sure. So everybody see this lovely woman in the blue? So Cynde, they're all asking, what in the world did you do? How the heck did you and your mom lose 140 pounds? So let's share it with the audience. Well, first of all, tell everybody what your history, you tried almost every diet there was out there, like a lot of different people, correct? You did. Wow. Okay, well, everybody stand by, stand by. So we're actually talking to this lady right here, Linda, the nurse, who's down over 50 pounds and it was featured on the cover of Women's World. So everybody's asking me, Cynde, hang in there. I want to explain to everybody as quickly as I can, what did they do to achieve that? Because they weren't on a diet, they weren't counting calories. I'm sure Cynde will validate everything I'm saying. The reason diets never worked before, and Cynde, you and your mom were on about every diet there was, am I correct? And you lost weight and you gained it all back, no matter at your best efforts, right? Okay. So the thing that was different about, and you learned this, Cynde, it had nothing to do with counting calories. You had to abandon counting calories and go with the premise that what the body runs on, and you're a nurse and you know this now, it only runs on nutrition. So the diets you were in the past, where they would lower the amount of food, they didn't take into account the nutrition in the food. They were just looking at calories. The researchers who invented this, as you know, Cynde, they've spent 40 years, 100 study, thousands of people have come up with this, and it sounds too simple, everybody, but it wasn't. They said, look, we're going to go find foods. These are the researchers that represent large amounts of nutrition, but in small quantities. So what happened, like Cynde and her mom, okay, everybody, just so you know who we're talking about, I'm actually talking to the nurse in the blue dress. She's on here live with us right now talking about this. So what the researchers did, they said, we're going to find foods that have large amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. So here's what they did. 30% of what Cynde and her mom consumed, they got a grocery list, they took it to the grocery store, but only 30% of what they had spent the month before, because they were only buying 30% of the food. The other 70% came from these exotic foods, literally from the far corners of the world, in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that represented huge amounts of food. Okay, that was the ingredients. Now I'm going to tell you what they did, and then I'll have Cynde comment. 5 days, that's why she said it was really easy. 5 days a week, her and her mom were having 4 meals a day. They started with these exotic foods in the morning. They had from the grocery list for lunch, a third meal from the grocery list, and a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic foods. Then 2 days a week, and this will scare you, but she'll tell you how easy it is, they did intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, but her and her mom ate 8 times a day. They were literally eating every hour and a half, and the results are startling. Cynde, is that a pretty good summary? Can you tell them how easy it was? Were you not shocked you weren't hungry? I guess that would be one of the first questions I'd ask you. Oh, there's Cynde. Okay, we can see you now. We couldn't see you with a little tiny thing. Now we can see you. Okay. Right. Okay, just a couple comments. Do we have an age restriction for coaching? I'm 15, but love to try it. No age restriction. Okay, but how do we get the actual rundown of what to do? How do we find this program? I'm going to show everybody here real quick. Cynde, don't go away. See if I can actually do it. Hold on, everybody. Let me see if I can, how I shrink this. Hold on, everybody. I'm going to show it to you in just 1 second. Okay, so see up there at the top in blue, everybody, Soaring Eagle, see the new health conversation? That's where you go. Cynde's still there in the little frame at the bottom, but I wanted you to see that. The new health conversation, it's a free medical website to go to. There's nothing to buy there. There's no products. This is totally food. So Cynde, would you agree that this is pretty amazing in terms of being able to essentially you weren't concerned about calories, you weren't concerned about quantity, you were concerned about what was actually in the food you were consuming for the first time ever, if that makes sense. Did that make sense to you? Well, tell everybody too that you and your mom both are coaching some people. Am I correct? You're so motivated about this. And you go ahead. Well, as a health professional, look, we know that most of the people, here's what's sad. The vast majority of people that are even on this podcast today, they're going to go back to paleo. They don't believe that this is real. But as you know, as a nurse, having 10, well, the main reason you did it was I showed you these 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies, and you said, we're in. I didn't have to do much more once you saw the medical proof. Explain to everyone why that was so important to look at peer-reviewed human trial studies for you, and also then to entrust it with your mom, who's 80 years old. Yeah, I think that's the thing you want to tell people. It really is easy. It's experiential. You know, when you hear the term intermittent nutritional fasting, people get freaked out, but you weren't hungry because you were getting nutrition in very small, because the amount of food you're consuming now is way less than what you used to eat before. And now certainly it's not the maintenance part that you and your mom are doing great on that. That's the whole reason to do it. You've been able to keep the weight off for all this time. So everybody, just so you understand, we're talking to this nurse right here in the blue dress. She's on here. She was on the cover with her mom of Women's World last week. This is the number one women's magazine in the whole world. I had no idea she was going to come on. But again, she is a nurse. Go ahead. Well, Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I think everybody, it was a real treat for all of us. Keep up the great work and onward and upward. Okay, Cynde? We'll see you later. See you later, but I'm going to continue with everybody else, right? So, all right, bye. So, by Chloe, you see that you'll probably someone will get a hold of you today, maybe even today, if you put that in there. So for the rest of you, I want you all to understand that right above my head in blue there, you can see it, the new health conversation. That is absolutely where you can go to be able to find out in great detail the actual medical proof that the Cynde was just talking about, the nurse who she was just on. She was the lady in the blue on the cover of, we had a celebrity on here endorsing this, just saying it's the most amazing thing she's ever done in her entire life. So again, all of you who would like to ask me more questions about this, but let me show you this, everyone. See, this is where we started, but I'd love anybody to comment. 21.2 pounds, 38.75 inches in just 30 days. And M. Jatalik, I'm going back on this now that I've recovered pretty much from surgery. Great. Somebody who had been on it is going to come back on. Soaring Eagle, did you understand to see the website you can go to? Soaring Eagle, please. We got, a nice interruption with one of the people on the cover of the magazine. That's a pretty big deal. So you see right there above my head the new health conversation. So Soaring Eagle, yes. So you know that's where you can go. Wonderful, wonderful. So who else would like to ask me a question? We're at 1,200 likes. Come on, everybody. We can do better than that. Let's get a whole bunch of likes if we can, okay? So who else would like to ask a question about how in the world she lost 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month? That's the averages we're used to seeing. 5 pounds a week. I mean, that's about the average with no exercise. No one was allowed to exercise. I had parathyroid surgery, and now I'm starting. Wonderful, good. Do you have a coach? Because you'd want to go back to your same coach. How long ago was it when you did this protocol? Look, Cynde came on and said, happy to help everyone. Wow, we're lucky we had her. So again, MJ, do you have a coach? I'm assuming you do, so jump back on the horse with them. See, that's the thing, everybody. Everybody gets a coach for free. Even Cynde, the nurse. Well, I coached her and her mom. We were just talking to her. So she's the one in the blue dress, the nurse. She's 57 years old and lost 50 pounds in a little over, like 3 months. And her mom lost 90 pounds in 9 months. And they both kept it off now for more. Well, she said they're coming up actually on the 3-year anniversary. I didn't realize that in August. So now it's almost 3 years that they've kept the weight off. That's pretty remarkable. Now, granted, in fairness, her mom was 77 when she started, so she's 80 now. But the point is she can still keep it off. She's lost 90. Cynde updated me. Her mom's now down 91 pounds. So she's actually lost another pound. That's incredible. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Michael and Sheila, wonderful coaches. Wonderful. We'll give them a call, get back on track. So who else would like to ask me a question? How did she do that with no exercise, not counting calories, a revolutionary new approach that no one's ever seen before? So who else would like to ask me a question? And let's look at some other before and afters. Let's look at Julie, everybody. 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at that. No exercise, not Photoshop, the same woman. Is anybody some stopped around February to build calcium? Now I'm going, great, M. Chitalik, great, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, get with Michael and Sheila. They're wonderful coaches. So this is a real life person that's on here right now that's just telling me they had surgery, they took some time off, and now they're going to get back on the protocol. Great, wonderful. Because it is a long term, everybody. It's about maintenance. It's about, yes, you can lose the weight. You can lose some weight on any diet, not at these levels, but then you gain it all back. Not here. That picture you're looking at there is about 8 years old. She's kept the weight off for 8 years. And then when you look at the daughter of this friend of mine, I know her. Look at that, 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. Look at the change in her body. Cynde's saying again, not counting calories it out, no exercise. And that what she's commenting on is the lady the woman in the blue dress right here. She was just on. She's a nurse, 57 years old, is 50 pounds in 3 months, and she's commenting in the chat for us. You can actually, I'm sure you could even ask her a question if you want. Put it in the chat. I bet she'll answer it. Or you can ask me. So are you curious? And then look at Curtis, everybody. This is still amazing to me. 40 pounds, 52 inches in just 30 days. 40 pounds, 52 inches, 52 and a half to be correct, in 30 days. But look at his blood work. That's what the nurse was talking about with these changes in their medical conditions. A1C 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124. And there are 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies on this. And the major studies are on the website. You can actually go and see them for free. And I'm going to show you where that is right now. So you see it in blue, the New Health Conversation. That's the website to go to see absolutely the medical proof. By the way, my books there's no books for sale. Let me show you the website, everybody, just so you know. Here's the website. There's nothing to buy on that website. Not my books, not products. There's no products. This is food. But it's food like you've never even seen before. And the results are they're crazy. They're crazy, right? I mean, look at Andy. How about 45 pounds, 60 inches in 30 days? His A1C, 7.9 to 6.2. But look at his bad cholesterol. Went from 120 to 59 in 30 days. This is not some diet. Now, let's come back over here. And now I want to show you the medical proof why whatever diet you're on, you're thinking about why they just don't work. Here's Harvard Medical School. Title of the study, Stop Counting Calories. The idea of a calorie in and a calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not just antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's exactly what these researchers did, and they have nothing to do with Harvard at all. Look what she's saying. Just give us, that's again, who's commenting there, everybody, is the lady in the blue dress. Sorry, over right here, right here. This is the cover of Women's World magazine, June 9th issue. They were featured on the cover in this huge story about over 50 protein miracle. Cynde's 57. She lost 50 pounds in a little over 3 months. Her mom lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both kept it off for like 2.5 years. Actually, her mom's down 91 pounds now. She corrected me just a little while ago. Now, what I'd like to know from all of you is, what do you think about that? Please comment on the picture on the screen, 21 pounds, 38 inches in just 30 days. And you all have the opportunity, if you want, the medical proof, the actual medical proof is right there at the New Health Conversation. If you go to that website, which is the name of our movement, by the way, the New Health Conversation, you're going to see that it's real. It's 100% real. And notice right above, free coaching to ensure you get free coaching the whole time. It's not a gimmick. It's not like, oh, well, we'll do your consultation, then it's $500 to coach you. Coaching is totally free. Only thing you're buying is food. And the coach's job is you get a grocery list from the coaches that was developed by these researchers, and then they'll show you how to buy these exotic foods that come from all over the world from these researchers who put this together that aren't available in your grocery store. And then they'll coach you and show you exactly what to do each and every day, because it's not a diet, it's not about counting calories, it's completely different than anything you've ever done before. Chloe, if you want to put in and request Cynde, you were on here, so you win the lottery. She'll coach you for sure. And I guess, Cynde, is that she can reach you at Cynde Detox? I didn't know if you were putting that out there or not for the universe. But Chloe, otherwise, go to the website, fill out the form, and say you want Cynde to coach you, and I'm sure she'll do it. How good would that be, Chloe? Would that be pretty good? Oh, so should she go there to @Cynde Detox? Is that what you're saying, Cynde? Okay, so go ahead, Chloe. You can reach out to her directly then if you want. Or you can go to the website and register and just say, I want to be with Cynde. So no problem at all, okay? So who else would like to ask me a question? We're now just about in an hour. It's almost 1:30 on the East Coast, but that's okay. It's fine. We're doing good here. But you can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. Okay, great. Or, like I said, Chloe, go to the website. If there's a form there, get a free coach. But just put in the chat, I want Cynde as my coach, just so we'll know. Okay, so you won't be, okay, I will private message you, Cynde. Okay, great. All right, well, I'm going to let you two handle it then. That's out of my wheelhouse, okay? So who else would like to ask me a question? We're at 2,100 likes. Can we get some more taps on the screen, all of you? Let's get this up to at least 3,000 or more. Great, Chloe. Well, you can't have a better coach than Cynde, who's done it. She is a nurse. I mean, we're just lucky that she came on today. And Chloe, you won the lottery because you were on at the same time. So we're at 2,100 likes. I see people tapping. I see hearts coming up. But let's get some more interest here if we can. So would anyone else like to ask me a question before I end this live? We're now at 1 hour. I'm happy. I'll stay longer if anybody has a coach or any of you. But are you curious about how in the world did she lose 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month? It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. It has nothing to do with that. All right. Well, looks like everybody has their questions answered or they're done or whatever it is. It's fine. I will close this and I will probably see. So it's 1:30 in the East Coast. I'll probably do another live about 2:30 today Eastern Standard Time. That's 1:30 Central, right? Yeah, 2:30, 1:30, 12:30 Mountain, and 11:30 Pacific Coast Time. And obviously, whatever other place you're tuning in from around the world, Vita Sobar, wish me luck. Are you just starting? Why do we need to wish you luck? Are you just starting, Vita? You're just, okay, well, good luck, Vita. Were you able to hear Cynde, Vita? Were you on when Cynde was on, the nurse who was on the cover of, it's her in the blue dress. She was just on live with us talking about this. She's actually made some comments about how easy it is. You know, she lost 50 pounds in 3 months. Mom lost 90 pounds in about 9 months, and they both kept it off now for, it would be 3 years in August. 3 years in August since they did this. So this isn't a flash in the pan like you lose the weight and you gain it all back on all these other diets because it's called R2M, race to maintenance. Okay, Melissa Chandler, how do we start? Okay, let me show you, Melissa. First thing you would want to do you see, Melissa, give me a yes. Oh, I'm not nosy, it's just I want to make sure you can read it. Above my head in blue, the new health conversation. Please give me a yes that you can see this. Okay. That's a website. It's free to go there, Melissa. We will not contact you. I promise we won't contact you. The reason we do this is we want you to be comfortable. You get to see the medical proof. And then if you like what you see, Melissa, you scroll down and get a free coach. It says right at the bottom, free coaching. It means free coaching the whole time. They'll go over the food list with you. They'll show you how to order those exotic foods. And then they'll coach you every single day to get you to your goal and then teach you how to stay there. Does that make sense, Melissa? Does that, cool. So you understand, and there's no spaces in that website, Melissa. It's the new health conversation. Got it? Okay, thank you. I guess you get it, right? So who else would like to ask me a question? Thank you, Melissa, for that. I really encourage you to go there, okay? So anybody else wanting to make a comment or question? No? All right, everybody, I'm going to sign off for now, and like I said, I'll be back on probably around 2:30 Eastern time today. Okay? Bye, everyone.